Hey guys, and welcome in the beautiful Emmeloord for another episode of Behind the Closed Doors. Today, the workshop small flash, speedlights, the small strobes, or whatever you want to call it. It's those little things that emit light and that can be fit on your camera. But the first thing we're going to learn is actually take it off the camera, because that's way more interesting. Enjoy today's episode of Behind Closed Doors. If you like what we do, subscribe, like, and of course tell other people about our channel so we can grow. Let's go. Now, one of the things that did worry me a little bit about the small strobe workshop is that everybody needs a different controller. Now, you might say, hey Frank, when you teach with the Hansel system, you also need controllers, right? Yes, but with the Hansel system, you only have one controller that fits every camera. So if you're shooting Canon, Nikon, or Sony, or Pentax, it doesn't really matter. You use the same remote control. With small strobes, you also have something called ETTL, or in other words, metering through the lens. And that means that you need different controllers or remote controls for every single camera. Luckily, our friends from Nissin, well, they came through. So for every student in our workshop, we now have his own remote control. Because in COVID times, you can't be too careful. Of course, we have our lithium-ion batteries, and the strobes are already, well, they're ready to go. So am I. So let's start the workshop, small strobes. I'm really looking forward to this one. It's gonna be fun. Now, one of the things that I really like about the Nissin strobes is that you remotely link your remote to your strobe. So that means that this remote will only work on the strobe that I pair it with. So when you shoot with several photographers in one area, you don't have to figure out in which channels they are or which groups. You just pair your remote to your strobe. Now, of course, you can still use different channels, but it's a system that really works nicely. But in this case, of course, I have different remotes and I only have 2 or 3 strobes. So I want all those remotes to work on those strobes. Goes a little bit counteractive, right, to what it was designed for. Well, Nissin has a solution for that. It's called the open mode. So that means that now I've set my strobes on open. The only thing I have to do is start up my remote control. And when I start it up standard, you will find that it won't work. So let me start it up. There we go. Now we'll fire it. No luck. Now when I press the button M for 1 second, I will literally get a small signature called open. You hear the beep, and now, you can see it in the back, my strobe does fire. Very cool solution. So now I have to set all the remotes to open, and we're ready. Now, if you are a regular viewer of the vlog, and I hope you are, you know that normally between the sets I show you the setups, I tell you a little bit about the techniques behind that setup, and of course the results. Today it's a little bit different because the small strobe workshop is not really about lighting setups. Of course we do lighting setups as you see in the video, but it's more about how does the thing work? What is zooming? Can I use it creatively? What is that whole high-speed sync stuff? What is shutter speed? How do I control control my small flash. What is the difference between a remote control that is radio or that is infrared or line of sight? What is that? That's what this workshop is all about. It's more a technique workshop, but I still want to show you some stuff that I really like about Speedlights. Now, one of the things that always freaks me out is when you have a speedlight on a stand. It's like the accident is waiting to happen until it falls off. And this is actually why I really like the Nissin MG10 strobe. This is a big boy, but look at this. You just mount it on your stand and it can't fall off. When this baby falls off, the whole stand will fall down. So this little plug under here, if somebody else is watching that creates strobe, make sure that you put that in your next strobe, because that really makes mounting it on a stand so much more easier. You don't need any extra accessories to hold the strobe into place. And do realize when something like this falls on the floor, it probably is defective after that. So make sure that you mount it really, really tight. Now, if you don't have something like that, you can of course use something like this. I will leave a link in the comments below. This is actually something that you mount on your stand. You click your strobe in and it sits really, really tight. It's not as strict, of course, as mounting it directly to the stand, but this one comes pretty close. If you don't have that option, this is awesome. And trust me, we tried several products and I never ever trusted on a stand. With this one, and of course this, I trust my strobes on a stand. And then of course you get the question, what is your favorite modifier? Now of course with the Hansel strobes, I know it's the beauty dish and the strip light with the grid. I love those too. But with small flash, well, you have a lot of options, right? You have soft boxes, you have converter kits, you have, well, the list goes on and on, just like with big strobes. But with big strobes, I find that I also use a lot. I use soft boxes, I use strip lights, I use reflectors, I use grids, gels. I use everything that they actually have. But with small flash, well, I have a lot of stuff and I really like the soft boxes. But there's actually one modifier that I always use, and that's actually this one. I'm so sorry. It's just one. Now in this case, you can see that I have the grid mounted and the strip. But when I take that off, let me take it off. Okay. There we go. Okay, that didn't work well with one hand, but anyway, so I took it off. And now you can actually see that I'm using a flash bender. And this is a special one. This is the Frank Dorov edition. And the main difference is that this isn't a white surface, but it's a soft silver surface. So it gives you a little bit more light output. Now, why do I like these so much? When you look at the first scene in the video, you can actually see that we literally molded that whole flash bender into something that's a little bit more steering the light. So you can use it as a bounce card, for example, like this. But the cool thing is, let me turn the camera around. So the cool thing about this is that you can actually bend the light any way you want. Now, normally somebody told me like, hey, you can't bend light. Well, you can. And look at this. Now, it's really difficult with one hand. Sorry, guys. I'm still using my camera in my other hand. And as you can see here, the light normally with a bounce card will go to the ceiling. But with this, you can literally just steer the light back to your subject, which gives you a beautiful extra light output. But you can also, of course, do this. So for example, make this and now you have something completely different. And the coolest thing is, watch this. And now we have a snoot. So one flash bender, you can create a strip light with a grid by just mounting this. You can use it as a snoot, or you can just open it up and you have a perfect bounce card, which you can mold in any different configuration that you want to steer your light. So I think without any doubt, again, this goes really difficult with only one hand. Without any doubt, the flash bender is a very, very capable modifier. And the cool thing is you only need one or two, depending on how many strokes you want to use. And you can create everything from softbox look to literally a strip light and also a snoot. So without any doubt, that's my favorite modifier. And I find that I often only use flash benders. I don't use the flash bender like it came out of the box. I literally just bend it into the light that I want. So 2 flash benders can create a totally different look. The only disadvantage, maybe it's not really a disadvantage, is you can only do it once, because you always fold it just a little bit differently. But those are absolutely awesome. And again, look for that little thing on the top, my signature, and then you know that you have the soft silver inlay. And I wouldn't go for the smaller ones. I would really go for the XL, because the XL, you can do beautiful stuff with it. So without any doubt, my favorite modifier. Okay guys, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Behind the Closed Door, the small flash workshop. This was a smaller vlog, but I still hope you liked it. And again, thank you so very much for watching. If you like what we do, subscribe to our channel, leave comments below, and of course smash that like button, because we really like that. And if you really like the stuff, hit that bell notification button so you get an email when we post a new video. See you again next time. Bye guys, and stay safe. Yep, it's raining again. Welcome to the Netherlands.